Hey everyone, GeekGirl here. You're watching episode 12.1, a GeekGirl guide to social networking. Okay, let's get right to it. Have you been wondering what keeps your friends, coworkers, kids, significant others, complete strangers constantly checking their Facebooks or tweeting? Are you one of those millions of people who are already entrenched, deeply entrenched, in one or two or maybe even more social networking sites already? Or does the idea of constantly updating your status with seemingly mundane things like what you ate for dinner drive you completely bonkers? Well, no matter what category you fit into, this podcast has something for you. So think of this episode sort of like social networking 101. But because there are so many sites out there, I decided to narrow it down to 4 sites: Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, and LinkedIn. But before I get into the nitty-gritty of the sites themselves, I decided to sort of take a step back and deconstruct the idea of social networking itself. Think macrocosm, not microcosm. In a nutshell, what I learned is that sociological, real-world principles are what networking sites are based on, just in a virtual application. It's all logic and math-based when you think about it. Let me show you how. Take a look at this picture. Amazing, right? It's from the UC Berkeley Group for User Interface Research, where they study large-scale online social network visualization. A social network itself is a structure that's made up of nodes that are connected by one or more different levels of interdependency. Now, the dots that you see on this image are nodes, and nodes represent individuals like you and me or organizations. And the lines that connect the dots are the different levels of interdependency. Now, these connection lines can represent anything from friendships to kinships to partnerships to value systems and trades. Social networks determine how organizations are run and how rules are made and how punishment is dictated. Really, society is based on social networks from the ground up. This image that you just saw, as pretty as it may be, is really just a graph. It's points plotted on an X, Y, and Z axis. So therefore, it's based in math and logic. So it was only a matter of time before someone came along and wrote a software that we could input all of our individual and unique variables into it, and it would plot things for us. The most amazing thing to me is that these online social networks are living, breathing, moving representations of how we as individuals are connected to the world around us. Now that's pretty cool. Alright, now that we got all that big picture stuff out of the way, let's get right down to it. Facebook. Facebook is my favorite social networking site on the web. It's also the most popular. Facebook is a free access website where you can join networks organized by city, workplace, school, and region to connect and interact with other people. People can also add friends and send them messages and update their personal profiles by using their status updates. Now, Facebook was founded by 3 computer science majors and roommates at Harvard University. Facebook currently has over 200 million users worldwide. In February 2009, Compete.com ranked Facebook as the most used social networking site worldwide, followed by MySpace. Facebook is a place where basically you're one of those little nodes that we saw on the image that I showed you. You sign up, and all those different connection lines are made really easy for you. You can find people that are connected to you along different lines, like school and work and high school and junior high and elementary school. I mean, my elementary school actually has a whole Facebook group. Facebook is a really smart software where it recommends things to you on the side or people that you might know, and they always happen to actually be something that either you've been connected to in the past or something that you actually are interested in. I think it's just really smart program software in the sense that it queries all of the people who are connected, and it creates this profile for you based on the data that you input about yourself, and it gives you suggestions. We're all connected in so many ways that we don't even know. Facebook is just there to point it out. Now, you can do all sorts of things on Facebook, like you can join groups, and there's lots of little applications where you can pass drinks to each other and give each other Easter eggs and grow plants and pets and all that stuff. And I don't really like to do all that stuff. Really, I personally just use Facebook to keep in touch with my friends and family. Also, one of the really cool things about Facebook that I enjoy the most are the status updates. When you log in, there's just a space at the top of my profile page, and it says Daria, and then it has a blank space after it. And I can write anything I want in there. And usually you write it sort of in the third person, like Daria is filming a GeekGirl podcast right now. Underneath it, I actually see a newsfeed. And in that newsfeed, all of my friends and connections that I've selected to be a part of my unique Facebook page shows up there. It's a list of all of their status updates and the things they're doing. So depending on when and where I log into my Facebook page, that's what I'm going to see. It's always changing. Remember that living, breathing, moving application thing I said before? This is where you really see it in action. And that's my favorite thing about Facebook. Also, you can do things like posted items and links. Now, I'll read about something on the internet, either a wacky story or something really touching or a cause that I feel like people really need to read about. And rather than sending out a mass email like I normally would have done before I joined Facebook, I'll just post it to my Facebook page. And whoever logs into their page at the appropriate time, within a few hours of when I've posted that link, they will see that in their newsfeed. And if it's something that interests them, hey, they can click on it and read it. It's virtually eliminated my need to send out mass emails. And here's an important note for you parents out there. There's also privacy settings on Facebook. Now, you have to be 13 or older to join Facebook, and I highly recommend that if you are a parent, that you monitor your kids' Facebooks. However, it's really easy for strangers to get in touch and prey upon kids, but that's not a reason to be scared of it. As long as you monitor it and you talk to your kids and you take the real-world principles that would govern not talking to strangers and you teach your kids how to apply them in the virtual world, you're totally fine. Uh-oh. This podcast has gone way over time. I got so excited in talking about Facebook that we're going to have to save MySpace, LinkedIn, and Twitter, one of my other favorite social networking sites, for part 2. In the meantime, keep your questions and emails coming to geek.girl@earthbank.net or hit me up on my Twitter page, right here below. And go visit our awesome sponsor, roddenberry.com. Alright guys, until next time, cheers.